Okay, welcome everyone. Tonight on the Gauntlet, we are playing Puppetland by John Scott Tynes. So yeah, we're going to see how the world of Puppetland reacts to this terrible fire that we will be playing through tonight. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I'll be the puppet master tonight. That sounds very ominous. I'll be the puppet master. No, equally ominous. I'll just be running the game. And let's get intros from our players, and let's get them to intro their characters as well tonight. Let's go in character keeper order, left to right.
I'm Horst, he, him. I am playing Mr. Pebbles today, and Mr. Pebbles can't turn left. He's a hand puppet, as you can see. A hand puppet. He can spit really far, and he points out obvious things. I'm a huge fan of John Scott Tynes, by the way. He wrote I think he wrote Delta Green, didn't he? He invented the whole thing. Anyways, that was me and Mr. Pebbles.
So my name is Robbie. I go by he, him pronouns. I am playing small Greenfelt, who is also a hand puppet. Small cannot tell a lie. He cannot remember new names, and he cannot abandon a friend. He can fly short distances. He can breathe theatrical smoke, and he has as you can tell from his tongue, he has a very keen sense of taste, so he can keenly taste the air. And he's an inquisitive puppet who is fond of sparkly things.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe. I use he, him. Tonight I am playing General Chuckles, who uses they, them pronouns, whenever they use pronouns. General Chuckles is a finger puppet. It's a little wider than the usual finger puppet. The picture that I have is fabric, but General is actually more of a stretchy material. General Chuckles is a super friendly person, and people like General Chuckles, and people trust General Chuckles, even though General Chuckles is perhaps not all there. General Chuckles is very good at convincing other people to trust them. They're very good at calming puppets when they're angry, and because they're made of stretchy material, they can stretch really far, farther than you'd think they'd be able to. Unfortunately, though, they are, or maybe fortunately, who knows, depending on the scenario, they cannot go anywhere near fire. Fire just frightens them. They cannot say mean things to people because that might hurt their feelings. And they cannot follow a sensible plan. So I think this should be very interesting.
Great, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that fire thing might be an issue, but if the scenario is indeed called a terrible fire. But that's cool. So I guess we will start in character. Come see the dragon, cried Monsieur Babypants, the little shadow puppet baby. Nearby puppets on the edge of town were surprised at his news. A dragon? Where? Monsieur Babypants led the puppets to the nearby field where Farmer Rhubarb tended his tidy rows. In a grassy meadow was an enormous bale of hay, glistening wet. I been storing up nigh on 12 years, Farmer Rhubarb nodded. Keep thinking I'll get me a horse. It was looking pretty dry a couple of weeks ago, so I sloshed some water on it. The haystack was the largest one any puppet had ever seen, so it was not even clear how it got so big, towering over Farmer Rhubarb as it did. Tendrils of sweet smoke drifted from its deep interior. You see? There's a dragon hiding in the haystack. A real dragon, one that breathes fire, not like you, Greenfelt. Skepticism ensued, but clearly something was in the haystack. One way or another, as these things happen, the haystack fell over. Perhaps Monsieur Babypants asked to be lifted atop it so that he might peer down inside. Perhaps the puppets argued over what to do, but all too soon the top of the haystack sloughed off to one side and a wave of putrid smell emerged with a black layer of mold. The rush of air ignited the smouldering hay, and the haystack burst into flames. Monsieur Babypants caught alight instantly. Ah! Ah! He cried in his little baby voice as the fire rippled into the meadow grass and spread rapidly in all directions. Some of Monsieur Babypants went up in flames as his arm crumbled into ash. Overhead, the pale moon floated in the sky, the light of the flames reflecting off its luminescently painted surface. Over the next hill was Puppettown and the world. Help me, I'm on fire! Don't you see I'm on fire?
Someone needs to go and help Monsieur Babypants.
General Chuckles, just jump on my shoulders.
Doing.
Can you see something?
I stand atop Mr. Peel and look far and wide. I can see the fire spreading. I can see Mr. Babypants running over in that direction, seemingly still on fire. And I can see Puppettown clear off in the distance. I'm afraid that it will burn up if we do not do something about this fire.
I will go off to get Mr. Babypants and put the fire out. I think maybe you should keep an eye on the ascending flames and make sure that they don't get too out of control. But I am off now, flying in the air to go to Mr. Babypants. And
That
while
is
I do this,
definitely-
I'm going to look from above to see what I can see.
That is definitely a sensible plan, Small Greenfelt.
And small Greenfelt sees that this haystack, being so high, now that it has fallen over, has spread over quite a considerable distance. And some of the unharvested hay has begun to smolder. Could this mean that the fire is growing faster than they might ever fear? But mostly, I think he sees Monsieur Babypants on fire and running around the field. And, well, let's not say that it is Monsieur Babypants who is spreading the fire throughout the field. No, that couldn't be true.
I will swoop down to get near Mr. Babypants. Mr. Babypants, stop running around. To put out the fire, I've heard you must roll on the ground.
So Monsieur Babypants, hearing the sage advice from small Greenfelt, indeed stops and drops and rolls. And it is like this wise dragon has seen some kind of instructional video, for indeed his advice to roll and roll and roll again works.
It works! That's crazy! Greenfelt is the best!
And
Indeed, Greenfelt is wonderful as I roll down from atop of Mr. Peel. Now come, Mr. Peel, we must go and get Farmer Rhubarb and instruct him on how to put out this fire quickly before anyone else gets hurt.
Where are you? You're not to my right. I can't see you.
Wait, okay, hang on. I will move over to your right so that you can say, hello!
Oh, hello.
Hello. Come quickly. We must go and speak to the farmer.
And they find in the corner of his field, crying over the loss of all his lovely hay, the magnificently attired Farmer Rhubarb. He waves them over. Hello! Hello! He cries. Please Please save my hay. I don't care about Puppettown. I want you to save my hay.
Mr. Pebbles, I have an idea. Of course, in order to save the hay and Puppettown, you must use your ability of singing very nicely to calm down Farber Rhubarb, so that he will know what to do.
I will. The fire will not hurt you, my friend.
What is this sound I hear coming from this strange beast? Is it a beast? No, it is Mr. Pebbles, my friend. Well, I did not know you could sing such a way.
I seldom sing. I'm ashamed a bit, but
Well, sing more, sing more. Let us sit down and listen to your wonderful tale. Please continue. I hope I don't have tickets for this concert, but please. And obviously, Farmer Rhubarb has been so relaxed by Mr. Pebble's song that he has forgotten all about his hay and the fire and simply wants to enjoy an evening of moonlight and song.
Well, Mr. Baby, what is it? Baby skirts, baby shorts. I can't quite remember the last part of your
Pants!
name.
Monsieur Babypants shouts. Pants!
Oh,
The
that's it.
Babypants!
Yes. How could I forget, Mr.
Well, maybe burnt off.
Babypants? You seem to be doing better. I hear my friend's sweet voice, so musical, so operatic. I think maybe we should go back and see what is going on over there, because I still do see the flames of the fire, and I'm still terribly concerned. Come on, Mister what is it, baby trousers? Come on, let's go back to that sweet voice.
It is more like Monsieur Baby Shorts at the moment, but I am afraid of this dragon. This is the dragon to which he had, of course, referred to earlier as being the source of the fire. No, I cannot go near the hay that is on fire, for there is a dragon there much meaner than you are, and therefore much stronger and flamier. And I am once burnt, twice shy. That is what they say.
Well, I've not seen a dragon per se yet, but I'm going to go back to my friend. I will fly up and get another look of things to see if I spy any of my dragonfold friends that might be responsible for this. But I must say, us dragons do get a bad rap. But off I go, flying away to my friend.
Greenfelt, what do you see?
Well, I'm up above here, surveying the fire. I do see a much smoke, and I see some flames. I don't know that I see. I'm looking for the cause of this terrible conflagration.
Oh,
Mr. Greenfelt is flying. Do you see it?
I do see Mr. Greenfelt flying. Yes, indeed, I see it with my tiny puppet clown eyes. And I wonder, Mr. Greenfelt, if you were to perhaps breathe your smoke down onto the field, it would blow away the other smoke and allow you to see where the fire is.
I don't know. I don't have much actual experience with real fire, but I can certainly try. So I'm going to go swoop down and breathe a little bit of my smoke out.
So this dragon flies into the heart of the smoke that is erupting from the burning hay and the burning field. And he breathes his smoke into that flame. And there's a flicker as perhaps the flame thinks about being put out. But it has other thoughts about this and erupts into flame, almost singeing Small's wings as he flies over. And onto the field, he sees a Nutcracker, one of Punch's guards, one of his secret police. Although this captain is not secret. He is Captain Nutcracker. He is the bravest of the brave Nutcrackers. His visage is so terrible that none could love him. Look, he is so ugly and so terrifyingly fearsome. And he walks onto the field and he looks at this dragon. He has heard cries of the dragon from all who have witnessed Monsieur Babypants. And he says, look, it is a dragon breathing flames upon our world. He must be stopped. And he marches onto the field with some of his fellow Nutcrackers.
Oh,
We need to run!
I will fly towards you. And yes, I think we need to run, but
Yes.
we need to also put out this fire.
Yes, we need to correct. Running is how we will put out the fire. Quickly, as I run directly toward the Nutcrackers who are now marching onto the field, waving my hands and yelling, "Help! There's a fire! Help! There's a dragon breathing fire! Help!"
The Nutcrackers are pretty bad, aren't they?
We are, in fact, the worst. You're the best. We are the only thing that stands between your world and chaos. The kind of chaos that happens when we let little hand puppets rule their own world. I think there should be no more farmer. There should be no more dragon. There should be no more Pebbles.
I beg your pardon, officer?
You heard me. You are in league with this dragon.
Preposterous.
Preposterous? How is that preposterous? And as you all look upon the Captain Nutcracker, you can see steam start to arise from his ears. He is mad. He has never been spoken to in such a rude and cheeky manner by any puppet, except for Mr. Punch, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You are a mere puppet. I am in charge here.
Oh, come quickly, Captain Nutcracker. Come quickly. Please, we are in need of your aid. Your fantabulous, amazing aid. Only you can help us now. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Great Spirit. General Chuckles has gone mad. He's in league with the Nutcrackers. We have to save him from his own idiocy.
I agree. The Nutcrackers are villainous. I mean, they are spiteful. They are the minions of Mr. Punch. I don't know what did you say his name was? General Laughter? General
Chuckles, get your shit together. It's Chuckles.
Oh, General Chuckles.
I was too far away from my friends and could not hear them telling me the sensible plan. So I instead attempted to continue to calm down General Nutcracker so he would not set more of the field on fire.
I will fly. I'm flying over to General Chuckles. I remember that name now. General Chuckles, please. I'm going to swoop down. You must hop on my back and we need to get you to safety. You are not safe here.
This is a ridiculous and crazy plan. Therefore, I will follow it. And as soon as the majestic small Greenfelt flies low enough, I leap into the air, almost as though thrown by a giant hand, and small Greenfelt's back. And it is only then that I realize I have no arms and thus cannot grab onto anything. So this is potentially going to be a ride.
But I can grab behind and hold you in my two hands, and so we will thusly go away and fly back to our sweet singing friend.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, sorry, we were on your left.
Okay, we need to find the dragon and save Puppettown.
I do think, yes, saving Puppettown is of the utmost importance. I'm looking over to see like how the fire is progressing, and I still see no dragon, but that fire, it does look threatening.
And Farmer Rhubarb, rather upset at the interruption of his night's entertainment by the arrival of this dragon and general, pauses to look around at the state of his field. Oh no! My field is destroyed and it's spreading towards my farmhouse. And there are all of my next year's haystacks. The seeds, you see, they shall grow into haystacks next year. This is how the entire economy works. It's very complicated, children. But you must save my farmhouse and next year's harvest, because if my farmhouse goes up in smoke, the next stop over is, and he says with a hushed tone, Puppetland.
Well, yes, I mean, saving your barn is important. Saving Puppetland, what is it, Mr. Carrot, Mr. Potato? Do you have any water?
My head may look like a potato, says Farmer Rhubarb rather sternly, as if it is not the first time he's heard this joke. But my name is Rhubarb. I come from a long line of rhubarbs with many branches and leaves to our name. But don't eat those leaves. They are poisonous. Children, do you listen to me? And he has lost his train of thought.
Water.
Do you have water? Rhubarb.
Well, I take all of my water from that aqueduct up there. And he points at this giant contraption of metal and wood and maybe duct tape that carries water from wherever to wherever needs it. And in fact, you can see a small pipe running down from this aqueduct directly into the irrigation ditches of Farmer Rhubarb's fields. It is from the aqueduct I get all of my water. In fact, that is where we all get our water, isn't it? All we have to do is make sure that the, I believe it's called a tap, continues to be open, and we will never want for water. It is mostly free, but sometimes Mr. Punch exerts some influence over it. But I don't know how that works. What were you saying? Water. Yes, water. We get it from the aqueduct. That giant aqueduct there. How could you have missed it? And you, a flying beast, who must have... are you blind? Can you see? How high can you fly anyway, Mr.?
Just a short distance, but I've never really paid much attention to kind of mechanical contraptions like the aqueduct. But yes, I think we should perhaps open, as you say, the tap, and yes, that seems to be the way that we can do this. We will get right to it, Mr. What is it, Mr. Onion? Off we go.
Just remember next time you eat a pie to have rhubarb in it. Not me, but never mind. Eat apple pie instead.
And
so his name is Mr. Apple?
Farmer
Apple, right.
And Farmer Rhubarb leads you all to the aqueduct. It is a towering contraption that looks rather unsafe for any but the smallest of puppets to be upon. But he shows you a little ladder leading up to it. And it's from this ladder that you might be able to access or do something even more adventurous to the aqueduct to put more water on the fire.
Well, it looks like a job for the smallest puppet. Should we stand next to each other to see who is the smallest?
Yes.
Yes,
Let's stand side by side.
Wait, sorry. On your right, Mr. Pebbles.
I can't see you. Oh, here. Yes. You're quite small, my friend. Quite small.
I am.
I think it is up to you to climb upward towards the heavens to see what you might be able to do. We need water desperately. We need something to quench the fire, the thirsty fire of perhaps the dragon.
Yes, I shall. And if anybody else is thirsty, they can also stand under the tap as well. So we will quench many thirsts tonight. Excellent. This is a wonderful plan. As I begin to climb up the ladder, I start looking for any kind of tap or valve that I can stretch out and open as I climb, because of course all of the taps must be opened, not just one tap, all of the taps, all of the valves, and perhaps this duct tape. I should perhaps pull some of that off as well.
Over at the side of the field where Captain Nutcracker has been assembling a cadre, he sees this strange ritual that 3 puppets are undertaking, a whole line of puppets standing. It looks like a formation of troops. And then he sees 2 of them salute the third who he has heard a name like General Laughter. General Mirth? Oh, he has heard of General Mirth. General Mirth is a very dangerous person. He has read some intelligence reports from Mr. Punch about this. So he decries this rebellion. And he looks up to see General Chuckles climb to the top of the aqueduct. He says to his fellow Nutcrackers, they are going to sabotage the very basis of Puppetland, the aqueduct that gives us water that we obviously need to drink. But he is too late to stop it. He is too far away to stop it. Who could possibly stop it? But the evil and dastardly Mayhem. And Mayhem is a dangerous creature. He eats puppets for breakfast. He is known as a true villain. He has no pretensions of for the good of Puppetland, as Punch might. He would gladly watch the world burn. And the sudden calamity is the best news of the day, or even the year. He loves fire, and fire loves him. That is why he has the color of flames on his skin. Well, where does General Chuckles first see the dangerous Mayhem perched on top of the aqueduct?
Indeed, as I stretch out off the ladder and onto another ladder. Kids, do not do this at home. It is very dangerous. Only I can do it because I am particularly stretchy. As I stretch across this space, suddenly a window opens, and there, right in front of me, is the evil, dastardly, villainous, unpretentious, skin of fire Mayhem, this close to my pleasant and unassuming, yet somewhat handsome face.
Somewhat handsome, he says. We will be sure to fix any misapprehensions of that, says Mayhem.
Well, I tried to be modest.
Modesty is no virtue, says Mayhem. I am the greatest. It is known that I am the greatest. Even Punch himself fears me, and these nutcrackers are no match for my Mayhem. Ha ha ha. His evil laugh reverberates down the metal of the aqueduct.
Ooh. Indeed, ha ha ha! You are the greatest, Mayhem. You are certainly the scariest and cleverest of all of the villains in Puppetland.
Well, thank you.
I cannot help but wonder what your plan is tonight as the field burns and the water sits here unspilt.
Well, seeing as you have asked me for my plan, I must satisfy your curiosity.
Oh, thank you.
As an evil monologue begins, slightly edited for brevity. Well, my plan is to inflict mayhem upon the entire Puppetland, for I know what lies beneath this haystack, and I know from whence this fire comes, and I have prayed for it nightly.
But surely whatever lurks beneath this haste, whatever has caused this fire, whatever lurks beneath this Puppetland and in this haystack, certainly could not be mightier or ghastlier or more frightening than you.
Of course, nothing is more dastardly or frightening than me.
For indeed, you are the most frightening, most feared and fearful and fearsome Puppetin creature in all of Puppetland.
Indeed.
Indeed. So it cannot possibly be that you would want to, I mean, if you were to allow this all to happen, then you would get no credit.
Of course I would, for this is pure mayhem, and who else could be responsible for mayhem other than me?
But who would know that it was you if all of the puppets burn and all of the hay burns and the aqueduct burns and Puppetland burns? Then who would know that it was Mayhem who has caused all of this? For after all, they think that this is a dragon, and not the nice friendly dragon, but no, a fearsome dragon. And while you are amazing and powerful, Mayhem, you are, well, you're not really a dragon, are you?
That sounds like a problem for tomorrow. I want to see the world burn today. And tomorrow I can think of taking credit. But given that you seem very smart and
thank you.
devious, I shall have to destroy you first, so that you cannot
Yes.
spread any of these lies about me.
Yes, I suppose that does make sense. I think I'll be letting go now. Goodbye! As I let go of the ladders with my two stretchy hands and fall to the earth, hoping that someone will catch me, because this really isn't a very good idea.
I have Mayhem's appearance just knocked me out, but my friend, I must save him. I will go fly underneath him, and I have a nice, cushy, velvety back that he can land on.
Oof! Ah, what a nice, cushiony, velvety landing. Oh, whew. That was frightening. Mayhem is very frightening.
And
Yes,
Mayhem, perched above the aqueduct now, sees the tiny puppet general fall to his doom, surely. But no, what is this? The dragon saves him? Foiled.
I will
And
fly us.
he scans the field and the area to see what else is down there, if there's other enemies that he needs to be wary of.
I will fly us to our sweet singing friend, and I do fear that terrible Mayhem is not anybody to reason with. He is a most foul being who is under the thumb of Punch. Down we go to our sweet singing friend.
There you are. The water, is it turned on?
No, I am afraid that in the midst of my mission to turn on the water, I ran into Mayhem, that dastardly, fiery, but quite articulate force of evil. And so now we will need a different plan.
Oh, I see the Nutcracker's coming.
And he and his cadre of nutcrackers arrive on the scene. He has a warrant for a general's arrest for fomenting rebellion. And as he writes new charges into the warrant right now in front of your faces, attempting to destroy or meddle with the aqueduct.
I mean, that was kind of true.
I have a plan. Perhaps those nutcrackers can be used and could be of service to us. Maybe they will follow us, and we could get them to maybe trample down burning things. If we could get them to kind of trample down things that would otherwise burn, maybe that would help to at least slow the spread of this awful blaze. Those nutcrackers, I know, they love to run after puppets like us.
A brilliant plan. Let's run.
Okay, we'll just make sure that they're staying behind us, a safe distance, and we will lead them on what they say is a goose chase of sorts through the lovely fields.
Yes, indeed. This is an excellent plan. Quickly!
Officers, we have stolen! Ha ha ha! You will never catch us alive!
And now I am going off to wreck more of Punch's property! Ha ha ha! As I run off in a completely random direction, hopefully somewhere that is not on fire.
And Captain Nutcracker is shocked that you puppets have not waited to hear the full reading of his warrant and been arrested like good, compliant puppets. He turns around to his other nutcrackers and says, "We shall catch them by rank 1, as he orders them into a very tidy marching formation indeed. And running hither and thither, they seem to be able to catch no one. Between their left obliques and their right about faces, they do cover much of the field. And even though General Chuckles is running in no particular direction, and certainly not in a way guaranteed to keep him out of their clutches, he is so fast that, these chuckleheads, these nutcrackers cannot reach him. They do come perilously close to catching Mr. Pebbles, though. Within several minutes of marching around the field, one nutcracker who looks strangely like Captain Nutcracker comes very, 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 very close to catching Mr. Pebbles indeed.
No! I spit in your eye! Two!
And that terrible spit lands in the Nutcracker's eye and says, I am blinded! He is some kind of basilisk with poisonous spit. I'm melting!
Let's turn right!
That's very good spit.
Thanks.
Could you spit on the fire, maybe? Perhaps that would help us.
I'm not a hose. I am starting to get hungry, though. Do you have any jerky, beef jerky?
I believe I saw some jerky as I was running around, but perhaps that was a burned part of Mr. Babypants.
It might be edible.
Well, if it is food you are interested in, perhaps we should go to the town.
Yes.
But we should also make sure that those nasty nutcrackers and that, what is that guy's name? Chaos
Mayhem.
or
Mayhem.
kind of insanity or whatever.
Mayhem. It's mayhem.
Mayhem. That's it. But also the flame. I mean, I don't know that. I think maybe we have slowed down the fire, but you know how these things go. You know, you can have them almost stopped, but I certainly see plenty more fuel for the flame lurking around here. And
Puppettown, get pizza!
And as you survey the area, you can see that in fact your plan, your genius plan of allowing the Nutcracker's march to break down the flames has worked quite considerably. Although the large bits of hay strewn across the field are still aflame. But more worrying is the presence of Mayhem above the aqueduct. He has slowly climbed and crawled upstream of the aqueduct, up to its very source. And he looks like he is trying to damage it there so that no water may reach Puppetland or the farm ever again. Dun, dun, dun.
do you see him? Do you see him up there? That evil fellow. I don't know exactly what his intentions are, but they can't be any good, and he's going to the source of the water.
I'm hungry. I think I'm starving. Ugh.
No, Mr. Pebbles, please. No, Mr. Pebbles, I can't grab you and shake you because I have no arms, but I can sort of wave around and...
Pizza! Let's kick Mayhem's butt.
Well, maybe this will satisfy your hunger. I'm going to go and grab some of this hay and stuff it in your mouth.
No.
How do you do that?
I'm not a cow.
Do we wonder that if this hay is aflame? Everyone is aware that Mr. Pebbles can eat almost anything, but can he eat hay that is on fire?
Yeah. Can you eat fire?
It's warm. It doesn't taste like anything, but I think the fire is getting smaller and smaller the more I eat.
Yes, that's the idea. That is a perfect plan. Eat, Mr. Pebbles. Continue to eat. This will fix the problem.
It doesn't fix the problem of being hungry, but better than nothing, I guess.
I have another idea. Could you eat some fire and then spit? What does your spit look like when you have been eating fire?
It looks disgusting. I'm sorry. Kids,
No, I think
you should look away. It is. I feel nauseated. Ugh.
yes, children, you should look away. But quickly, Mr. Pebbles, what you must do is continue to eat the fire and then spit it at the top of the aqueduct, and then that way we will drive away Mayhem and certainly not cause any other property damage.
I turned into a lawnmower. All right then.
Now, maybe while you are doing that, I don't know how far your spit can travel. Can you reach Mayhem with your spit?
I can spit super far. Watch me.
And we see this strange, disgusting spit looking like some kind of napalm, whatever is inside Mr. Pebbles' stomach, and mucous membrane structures does not interact very well with this flame for normal purposes, but for a flame attack at range, it is surprisingly effective. A gout of this sticky flame shoots forth so high, so far, impossibly far, all the way to the top of the aqueduct where the dastardly, villainous Mayhem is pulling at the top of the aqueduct, biting bolts off with his bare teeth. Look at those teeth, they are so sharp, so hard, impossibly Wolverine, like a cross between a superhero and a honey badger. These are tough teeth. But what happens when this strange fire spit hits him? Well, he is not best pleased. He singes the hair inside his ear as the spit hits him, and he is annoyed, for there's nothing worse than spit and flame into a cat's ear. I'm sure you all know that, don't you? And so Mayhem turns at the source of this uncanny attack to get a second spit gout into his eye. Ugh! And he roars his hatred down towards Mr. Pebbles just in time to get a third spit gout into his mouth. Ah, how disgusting! It would seem that Mayhem's voice is rather less villainous and suave and sophisticated when he has been spat in the mouth with this vicous flame. Ah, that's disgusting! I can't believe you did that!
I am going to run and Mr. What is it? Mr. Stone, Mr. Rock, keep spitting, spit like there's no tomorrow. I will go and run and see if I can flank yonder villain, and perhaps with him distracted, I might be able to kind of maybe knock him off from that great precipice up there. So here I go. I'm running, being a little, hopefully he doesn't see my bright green from up on that tower. But if my friend can keep spitting, maybe I can get up to him unawares.
Up there, because of this fusillade, this constant volley of fire spit coming from Mr. Pebbles, Mayhem has hidden in the aqueduct for some kind of cover, rudimentary as it is. And he has discovered that this water flowing into his mouth and his eye and his ear are actually quite soothing. And he is enjoying a little bath, some kind of a sluicing jacuzzi, let's call it. This is so relaxing. Why have I not tried this before? I can spend all year here if I wanted to. It would appear that in the right circumstances, at the right spa, a villain could be turned into a nice little tiger. But in any respect, he is not able to see or brave small fly crawl or make his way up there to dislodge him any further. This is so relaxing. I should do this next weekend. Maybe I'll bring some friends along. If I had friends.
Yeah.
So relaxing.
Oh, let me fly up that aqueduct to see what I can see. I can't fly very, very far, but I have a little distance I can fly up here to get a look to see where our villainous friend has taken himself.
And you see him, as previously described, lying in this water.
Greenfelt, take Chuckles with you. He's tiny and can't be seen.
Great idea. I will swoop down. Chuckles, come. That's your name, right? Chuckles.
Yes.
Come.
You got it right.
Here, I can cradle you in my mouth. It's actually does not have any teeth, as you see. I'll cradle you in, and up we go again. Up we go again. And here, this looks like a good place for you. There.
And now that they see the terrible mayhem in this makeshift jacuzzi again, you see that he has found a little bar of soap and he is washing himself.
Oh, this is so good. This is so relaxing. Oh, yeah, better get under there. As he scrubs
And
himself.
relaxing ministrations out of the sky falls me, General Chuckles, as I cannonball!
Oh no! Not the dreaded cannonball, the legendary General Chuckles cannonball. The second battle of the aqueduct will surely see that move again. But now we are in the first battle of the aqueduct, and General Chuckles smashes into Mayhem's stomach, and a gout of bubbly water comes out of that terrible villain's mouth. A giant bubble, enough maybe to carry a small puppet away, if they were so lucky or so unlucky. And he roars. It would appear that his voice is back to his normal villainous ways. What? You dare attack me as I enjoy a well-earned rest? How dare you?
On second thought, that probably wasn't a very good idea. But come, watch this. I'm floating away in a bubble. Can you see? Isn't it so whimsical and relaxing? Look. La 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 la. Totally not distracting you. My friends do something. La 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 la.
And you can all see Mayhem thinking to himself, I can make that leap. I am a fierce and villainous tiger. I can leap across the air and snatch that tiny little puppet out of the air like a plaything, not perhaps thinking that the bubble will bear him. But anyway, those are thoughts for a mere professor. He is no mere professor. He is a villain. The reality of his plan has no restraint on him. He readies his jump.
No, I see him. I must save my friend. I will fly across to my friend to see if I can hopefully get there first. It's a race.
But how do we see the brave Small fly for so long? Is he usually more earthbound than this? Can he push himself to this extreme to save his friend?
Yes, I what I can do, maybe if I detach my arms and just fly with just my wings, I can do it. So I'm pulling them off. They detach, and now I just have my wings. I think I can get there.
What a noble sacrifice this is! And indeed, we see this Small reach his friend floating away on the bubble. The bubble bursts in Small's nose, tickling him a little bit in the sheer delight of it. But what is this? The terrible Mayhem leaping for your same friend at the same time does not get there before you. You get there before him. And now, all of a sudden aware of the long drop and the burst bubble which he was relying on to hold his weight, he instead holds on to Small. He bites into Small's tail. Arr!
Oh no!
No!
Small, let go! Let go! We're all going to go down. Let go of me, Mr. What is it? Chaos?
And Mayhem would.
Mayhem, let him go!
Mayhem thinks about replying, but he doesn't need to justify himself. And anyway, he's holding on to Small with his mouth. If he speaks, he will fall.
Mayhem, you are stupid and you smell bad.
And a mere challenge, a Small inflicted on him, he could resist. But this kind of childish name-calling, he cannot. He looks down at the ground towards Mr. Pebbles and says, "Nuh-uh." And of course, too late, he realizes what has been done to him, what he has done himself. As he has let go of Small's tail, he falls. And then as he reaches earshot of the ground and the assembled nutcrackers, he realizes his image should really not be ruined by yelling like a mere finger puppet. He stops screaming and goes, "I'll get you next time," as he thumps into the ground with a thud.
Well, oh, well, that was fun.
Well, and we've taken care of that villain. I think what we should do now is make sure that the nutcrackers are not a danger, and then maybe rouse up the town. We can get our friend Mr. What is it, Stony, Mr. Rocky, something to eat, and make sure that the fire does not put an end to Puppettown.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Rocky, I'm fairly certain that's his name.
Pebbles, you're speaking about me? Well, where are you? Is this Walmart?
We're over here in the field. I landed as well as I could.
Oh, Mayhem is over there. Don't you think that the Nutcrackers will arrest him?
Well, I hope so.
Oh my.
What you see is now the Nutcracker showing that they might have been afraid to face Mayhem as he was, but now a broken tiger on the ground, they have no fear. 8 of them have arrested Mayhem and are dragging him away into Mr. Punch's dungeon, where he will surely escape next year, but not tonight.
So, pizza?
Well, the Nutcracker captain says to them, the fire is dying out, but we must still use my genius plan of diverting the aqueduct into the fire to make sure that it is out. I have come up with this plan all by myself. In fact, I wrote a paper on it for general circulation, which you will see in newspapers tomorrow. How I came up with the plan to use the aqueduct against the fire, and how I have saved Puppetland all by myself. Do you understand?
Well,
He
that
asks,
would be
credit.
That's a lie. That would be a lie. You can't say that. It wasn't your idea.
Are you
Pretty sure it was our idea.
Are you calling me a liar?
Well,
Now,
hate to-
Mr. Greenfelt, Mr. Pebbles, I think we can all agree that the important thing is that the fire will be put out, and the General Nutcracker will get the credit that he deserves. And
He doesn't deserve anything!
I
No
deserve
justice!
all the credit, or you shall be arrested.
And most importantly, Mr. Pebbles will get something to eat because he's very cranky when he's hungry.
I am very cranky. This is injustice.
Well,
The Nutcracker did nothing.
I have something for you. And the Captain Nutcracker fishes into his bag and takes out a little pack of cream crackers. And he says to Mr. Pebbles, "You better be careful, Mr. Pebbles. We know your secrets. And if you do not tell the truth about how I came up with this plan, you will neither get crackers nor will those secrets be kept secret for long."
Ah, gimme, gimme, gimme.
And the captain of the Nutcrackers passes over a cream cracker for Mr. Pebbles.
Oh, thank you, officer. Mm.
It is a peculiarly tasting cream cracker. It seems to have some black pepper or some other kind of terribly exotic spice in it. Obviously, villainous nutcrackers need a little bit of spice in their snacks.
What a monster. Why can't it be just sweet?
That would seem like too much of a reward. I will keep the sweet crackers for myself, says Captain Nutcracker.
What a dick.
And so, Captain Nutcracker directs the remaining crackers in his outfit to do the plan as he has thought of. Is that not correct? And they will divert the water into the farm and into the hay and extinguish the flames forever. And he is already writing his acceptance speech for that medal he'll be getting tomorrow for saving the entirety of Puppetland.
You said you're going to give that to general circulation, right?
Indeed, general circulation is very important in
Yes.
propaganda. I mean, news.
Well, general circulation is a very good friend of mine. We generals have to stick together.
Well, Greenfelt, and Chuckles, I think our work is done. We should do something fun.
Yes.
Eat something!
I think there's a pizza place still open.
Wow.
Yes, that sounds good, and maybe we'll talk to your friend. What is it, General? Kind of pass things around, General. What was his name? General
Circulation. That's circulation.
Yes, general circulation, and maybe we can pass around the true story of what happened.
Yes.
I think what's most important is that the kids out there know what really happened. After all, the children are our future.
And the children do know what happened, didn't they? They know that I saved everyone and the entirety of the world. And they know that if they tell lies about what really happened, Nutcrackers will, well, let's not say any more about that.
Children, that is not true. It was all a lie.
Always believe the truth and not the lies. The
truth,
Small?
as you read about it in official publications.
Don't trust people with sweets that have pepper in them.
Pepper is the best.
It is not even sweet.
Small,
Yes.
didn't you used to have arms?
Yes, I did, but I had to drop them to get rid of excess weight. I'm now just stuck with my wings.
Hey,
Oh,
we're like brothers now. Nobody has arms.
yeah. I guess we're all disarmed.
Or we could look for your arms.
Yes.
After pizza, I think.
As hard as it sounds, I think we should find the arms first.
Okay. If we do find them, can you pick them up?
Yes, and I will promise not to eat them. Although I'm very hungry.
Yes, there's a good seamstress in the town that has often been of service to me. So if we could find my arms, I think while we're finding the pizza, we could put out word to the seamstress.
Ooh. Could you get me arms too? And maybe she can sew back on my pants, because I would like to be Casper Babypants now again instead of Casper Baby Shorts.
I think they could probably do that. Maybe she could even give me arms. Do I have arms? I don't think I have arms.
Well, you have those they're kind of like little stubs, I think.
Right. They're kind of flopping around a little bit. Yeah, they're not really arms.
Yes.
I would like arms. I hear arms are cool.
And so the three friends and some new friends go off to find a seamstress and a pizza parlor and whatever they can do on a Saturday night to pass the time and revel in the knowledge that they have saved Puppetland.
Yay!
Here's to saving Puppetland.
Saving Puppetland!
Saving Puppetland!
The end.